Okay, so what we're going to do in this video is build a menu that, well, it looks like it proportionally sizes the menu items, and to some extent it does do that, based on the text. So one thing, you guys, all of the code for this, both the CSS and HTML, you can get it in the description, the video description down below, and there will be links right here. Flexbox 2, and then there's another one right here, Flexbox 3, because in order to understand how this works, I have another little page or set of code we're going to work with. So you can get those really easily just by downloading them. So, okay, let's take a look at this menu here. Now, rather than having me type all this stuff out, I want to focus in right on the crux, right on the most important aspect. And that is this new property called flex. We use it on the child items. We don't use it on the parent. We don't use it on the flex container. We use it on the flex children, the flex items. So here's our flex container. We gave it display flex. Oh, also, you guys, before I go any further, understand these videos are sequential. They build on each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So look at the video title and see what number it is, and understand you've got to look at the videos previous to this one to fully understand it. So here, class MI for menu item, we're going to use flex on these, and we set flex 1 auto. Now, what does this mean? All right, so let's come over here and let's play with these a little bit to get an idea of what they mean. So here, flex 1, this is shorthand, okay? And the reason I'm using it is because the authors of the specification itself say that we absolutely should use the shorthand version, okay? And so whenever you go out, you see in Stack Overflow or you read a book, you find the shorthand version, okay? However, it isn't. Sometimes you also will see them written out so that they include their descriptive names. So here, the first one, this is equivalent to saying flex grow 1. This one, flex shrink, and flex basis. All right, so what do these mean? Flex grow is how much the item will grow to take up open space that is available. It's also called positive free space and negative free space. So let's get straight to it here. We look down here. I have 2 of these items, and they both have a flex grow of 1, right? So they're growing to take up the rest of the space. Now, what if I put flex grow of 0, which means don't grow at all? Don't allocate free space to me, okay? And each one of these has the same amount. So this is a ratio. Essentially, it says if there's any free space left over, give that to me. Well, so here, there's none. Okay, it says don't give us any. Now, what is this flex basis? Maybe we should get to that too. Flex basis stands in for the width, okay, the width of the element if your flex direction is row. All right. So if we said, okay, give it an exact width of 20 pixels, flex basis, we put flex basis of 20 pixels, that's like saying the width is 20 pixels. So we do that, and now we've got 20 pixels. All right. So if we came over and we said, well, how about 33%? Okay, it would understand that as well. So roughly each is roughly 1/3. So when we specify auto, what the browser does, the first thing it does is it says, does this element have a width? Explicitly, I'm really not typing well here. Explicitly set. If the width is explicitly set, use it. All right. If not, get our width from the content of the element. Okay. So here, if our content is just, well, text, one little bit of text, one little bit of text. So when we set it to auto, what do we have here? Yeah. So we come here, and so it's going to say, well, when we size our flex item, just look at what's inside of it. It's not very much, right? So it's not going to be very wide. Okay. And so technically, this is, if you've got a lot of understanding of CSS, you'll understand that this is the max content value, and it'll be, here in this instance, it'll be the width of the text when it's not wrapping. So if we, for example, if we set this shrink to 0, well, let's not get into shrink. Let's not do that. We'll do that in another video. All right, so the grow is there. So if we have 1, let's do this. Let's give this item here a different grow factor. Okay. Flex 2, 1, auto. So it's exactly the same as item 1, but our grow factor is 2. So that's 2 times more, right? So what it's going to do, it's going to take all of this space here, and it's going to allocate twice as much to number 2 as number 1. But remember, it's just going to add that on there. Okay, it's just going to add it on to 2. So it doesn't mean that number 2 is going to be exactly 2/3 of the width, because it just takes this free space here. Okay, and it's going to give 66.666% of it to 2, and the other bit it's going to give to 1. All right, so you can see it's roughly that. All right. So if we kept those the same. Okay, so if we come over to our menu, right, we come over to our menu, and we say, all right, each one of 1, 2, 3, each one of these is class MI, right? A menu item. If we had a flex grow of 0, it says don't grow, don't get bigger, don't allocate. Positive, essentially, let's do this. There are 2 concepts. One is positive free space, and 2, negative free space. Now it seems like a contradiction in terms, but essentially what it is this. Okay, so here I put the background of our container, I made it gray. So we have all this area here to distribute among our items. So in fact, what we're doing is we're taking all of this and we're distributing it equally to each one. So proportionally, this is not, they're not really, it's not distributing it more, or it's not distributing more free space to this products and services. It just starts out bigger. That's important. That's the key. It starts out bigger because the first thing Flexbox does is it determines the size of the element, right? And it's doing that based on the content, right? Our text, our max content value. Then it's taking all this and it's giving it to each one, right? So when we return this, all of this positive free space, which is space left over, okay, if these went out and extended over here, extended beyond the size of our container, there would be negative free space, and you would use the flex shrink ratio to determine which one, how much to take away from each. So if we return this to 1, it's just gonna, if we look here, this space here is gonna be equal to this one here. You can see that here the space out in this area and out on this area is the same on the products and service menu item, even, and it didn't give any more to it, right? Okay. What else? So what if we did this? Well, that should do it for this one, I think.